I'm going to be using Canva for this tutorial, and I'm going to show you how I design and make a full page of backing cards to package your handmade products. It's low cost, easy to print at home, and it instantly makes your product look shop bought. I'll walk you through how to get the correct measurements for your bag and a few basic design features for you to get started in Canva. And please stick around to the end, because I'm also going to show you an alternative to the clear cellophane bags that so many handmade businesses rely on these days. Right, so to get started, we need to determine what size you need your backing card to be. So the best way to do that really is just to sort of measure the product that you are going to be placing onto your backing card. So here's just one example. If you were going to be making your backing card for a keychain, for example, they're typically quite long, rectangular shapes, and then you might want to have some text on the top or on the bottom or both, and just work out the size that you want that to be. If your intention is to use a cellophane bag and your product is just going to slip inside the bag with the backing card, just know what size you need your cellophane bag to be, and fill your bag so you know the exact size once it's been closed up, and then just measure the width and height of your bag. I like to do this in centimetres, so 9 centimetres wide. This is square, so it should be 9 centimetres squared. Reduce the width and the height by 0.5 centimetre to give you a bit of allowance to fit your card and your product inside. To make my backing card, I would make that 8.5 by 8.5. So I'll be making a backing card in those dimensions for these earrings, which will fit inside one of those bags. Right, we're going to start by creating a custom size page. So click on the plus symbol and go to custom size. We're going to create our page in centimetres. So change your units to centimetres, and I'm obviously going to input the example that I've just showed you, 8.5 as the width and 8.5 as the height. Create new design. We'll just start by moving your logo onto the page. So that should be in your uploads. And if you haven't got your logo yet, then fear not, because I have got another video where I've gone into detail on how you can design your own logo from scratch, keeping it nice and simple, using Canva to create your logo. If you've got your logo down the bottom and your product is going to cover that, then you probably wouldn't want to place it there. You probably want to move that up to the top or on the side somewhere. I'm actually going to position my logo down the bottom here because I'm going to be designing a backing card for a pair of earrings, and I'll be punching 2 little holes in the card that my earrings will hook onto, so they will be positioned in the middle of the card. You might have a hole punched through your card and you might be using the twisty ties to hold it in place. But the point is, just make sure that you know where your product is going to sit on the card so that you make sure that your logo and design can be seen. Basically, you don't want to cover it up with the product. So I'm going to place mine down here. Just move that into a position that I'm happy with. And I'm going to start bringing in some graphics and just put a few subtle graphics on the page just to make that stand out a little bit more. So let's start by going over to Elements. Click on the graphics icon. And there's tons of different graphics available for you to use. You can use the search bar up the top here to search for something more specific. So for example, I'm going to put flowers. Here are all the different flowers. The ones without the crown are part of the free Canva. Also, very important, always check the licensing information. Click on the full license here to view the latest licensing information. I'm going to start with this one here because I've decided that I want just a very plain, simple daisy style flower. And I'm going to just click on that to add that to my page. You can then obviously just start moving that around your page. I'm going to move that down here, make that slightly bigger. You can see up the top here, some of the graphics actually give you the option to change the colour. I like the colour of the outside flower, but I want to change the inside. So let me just see. I'll go for something yellow. That's probably a little bit too yellow. So if you click on this colour spectrum, you can move this little circle down to a colour that you prefer. I quite like that. So I'm going to just start playing around with this now, this design, and just make it a little bit more unique. I'm going to bring that down here. I like the look of having that sort of going off the side of the card. And I'm going to add some more. So I want one big flower down here in the bottom left corner, and then I'm going to add a few up here. It's keeping the majority of my card in the middle completely blank, because that's where your product's going to be. So you want people to be able to see it. I'm going to duplicate the flower. I'm going to click on this duplicate icon, and I'm going to move another flower up the top here. But again, I like to have that hanging off the side of the card. And I'm going to do that a couple more times. And I'm just going to move them around like this as well, so that they're not laid out the same. They all look a little bit different, and reposition the size until I'm comfortable with those sizes. Okay, and I've landed with this. This is what I like. And it's very pretty, but I feel that the colour is just a little bit too bold, because I really do want my earrings to stand out more than the backing card. So I'm going to just take the transparency down so that the flowers are still visible on the card, but they're not the center of attention. So I'm going to click on the image here, and I'm going to go to this transparency icon up the top here. It looks a little bit like a checkered flag. There's just a little bar, sliding bar there, and you can move that down. So I'm going to move that to about here, and I think that works better. So I'm going to do that to the other flowers, and to do that I'm just going to right click, and I'm going to copy style, and I'm going to click on the other flower, and that will paste that transparency onto that flower. Okay, I like that better now. If you want to, you can go up here and change the colour of your logo if you've got a pro account. So my logo here was downloaded as an SVG file, which then gives me the flexibility to come up here and change the colour on my design. But if you don't have the pro version of Canva, you'd have to go back to your logo and change the colour in your logo design, download that again, and then drop that into your backing card design. But for this, I'm going to keep this as black. It does look quite nice in that peachy pinky colour, but I'm going to leave it as black. You might choose to have a more bold, colourful background as well. So if you wanted to change your background colour, you just come up to this little background colour icon and just experiment. And remember, you've always got this option here. I quite like that. But my earrings would get lost on that dark background. So I think of using that for something else. That's nice. I've kept mine plain and simple, but there are so many things that you can do to have fun with this. So let me just get back to where I was. I'll go to position and just group all of those together so it doesn't move around. So now I'm ready to download. I want to move that onto an A4 size page so that I can get multiple backing cards onto one A4 sheet of cardstock. So click on share, go to download. We're going to download this as a PNG file and select download. And once that's been downloaded, you can then drag that back into Canva, into your uploads. So now let's create our A4 page. This video is part of a series I'm creating on DIY packaging for your handmade business. So if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button because you don't want to miss out on the others. So click on this little arrow down the bottom here and go to more and custom size. We're going to change our units to inches, and we're going to input the width as 8 and the height as 11.5. And because we designed our backing card in centimetres, I'm going to now change my units to centimetres, and Canva will convert those numbers into the centimetre equivalent, and then we'll select create new page. And I can now move the design that I've just downloaded and uploaded back into Canva. I can now drag that onto this page and start filling this page. And I'm going to change my background colour to grey. So move that up to the top. We need to move the size of this image down to the original size that we designed our backing card in. So if you click on this circle here in the top left hand corner, and then just move that down to the size of our design, which was 8.5 by 8.5. That doesn't always mean that that's precisely that number, so you need to click on to position, go to arrange, and just check the numbers here, and you can see it's slightly out, so update that now to 8.5 by 8.5, and now you've got your card in the original size. Now I'm going to move this up into the left side of the page, and I'm going to duplicate the image, move it into the space on the right, duplicate again, and basically you're just going to fill that page. And you want to leave a space in between each image because that will be your guide for where you'll cut away your card. And just a really useful tip that I wanted to show you. You can see here, I've moved these around a bit, and you can see here that this one is completely out of line and this one's been moved down a bit. Sometimes it can be a bit fiddly getting everything into alignment with your mouse. There is a very easy way of bringing everything into alignment. Click on one of the images, go to position, go to layers, select each image, go to arrange, and here you'll see an option called tidy up. That will bring everything into alignment. If that's greyed out, then everything's already aligned, but if not, select tidy up and that will straighten everything up for you. I'm going to group those now, so click on, go to position, layers, and then click on each image or backing card, and then select group. From here you can go to share, download, and you're going to download this as a PDF print file. I change the colour profile. I prefer to use the CMYK. As you can see here, it's got crown. So if you're using the free version, then you'll have to use RGB. I'm going to select my page, select done, and download. And here's my PDF file. Once you're ready to print that, go into your printer settings and change the quality from standard to high so that you get the best result. Now all I need to do is cut away the grey background, punch a couple of holes in there for my earrings, and pop that straight into my packaging. So let me do that now. It's going to fit real nice and snug in there. You can have them as plain as you want, or you can jazz them up a bit. Whatever you feel is right for your brand, you can get the right look. So now let me show you an alternative to this cellophane bag and see if we can ditch them once and for all. Let's take that off. We are going to be using wrapping paper, chosen a nice pink, which is 10 inches high, 15 inches wide, and I'm going to use this bag topper made from cardstock, which I've matched to my backing card. I'm using the same width as my cellophane bag, which is 9 centimetres. I don't have much space here, so I'll try and get this on the camera as well as I can. But essentially, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be wrapping my card in this paper. It's going to be wrapped a few times to give it some protection. So you want to lay this down sideways with your 10 inches along the sides and 15 inches along the top. That's obviously just for this particular size backing card. And I'm going to fold the side of this in roughly an inch. And do that on both ends. Fold it in half like this. Open that back up, place your backing card inside, lined up with your fold along the side and through the middle. I'm now going to bring this side over, fold that over the front, wrapping it around, keeping it snug up against the side of the backing card, and then just fold that last side over onto the front. Remembering where we've got our halfway fold mark, we want to now bring that bottom side of the paper up to meet the top. You've got quite a lot of padding there protecting your product. And now just going to roll that down, fold it once, fold it twice, keeping it just away from our backing card. Very nice and neat. Take your bag topper, which has been folded in half. My backing card ends around here. I'm just going to pop that over the top, staple that to the top of my packaging. And there you go. Very simple but effective way to replace the cellophane bag, but upgrade it for a branded paper wrap. You can check out my video on how I made these.